What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/EntitledParents. Now, in today's first story, an entitled woman touches the hair of a young black girl without even asking. Before we jump into that though, guys, if you are a big fan of me and the channel, then consider getting some of my merch for Christmas. It's on screen right now. I've got t-shirts in loads of different colors and also hoodies, just like this one, in lots of different colors as well. So if you might want to buy that, or your parents might want to buy it for you, check it out up here, and it's also in the description and the pinned comment. Oh, and also, if you are new around here, consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get into the story. Woman, do not touch my child. A few hours ago, Auntie, my family says that instead of Auntie, called my mother about something that happened today. Her peed off black woman voice could be heard across the room. I was curious what happened, worried something bad happened, as I've never heard her so angry, and I asked my mum to put her on speakerphone. The following story she told us is parallel to a situation my mother and I went through when I was very young. Here's how it began. Early this afternoon, my auntie, aged 52, and her daughter, aged 9, went to the store to pick up baking supplies for my cousin to make her first gingerbread house. My cousin had always wanted to make one and was inspired when I shared photos of the holiday goodies I made. I told her it's more fun to make food from scratch, and they just taste better, and she wanted to give it a try. That was their plan for this weekend. My cousin and auntie went to Dollar Tree for candy, since they could get way more for way less than their local grocery for the good brand name stuff. They had most of the ingredients at home, so they didn't need much. Being the holiday season, they were in the grocery line for quite a while. My cousin bounced with excitement, saying how she couldn't wait to get started on the gingerbread house and make it so cute. There was a white woman in line behind them. Auntie assumed she was 40-something, whose outfit said she could buy anything at full price and still afford her bills for the month. She said, with a big smile, "Your daughter has such pretty hair." One thing about the women in my family, we all have great hair because we take care of it. It's thick, healthy and beautiful, and we take pride in it. We all stopped using relaxers before my cousin was even born, so it was 100% pure African American hair. It is a lot of work, but the payoff is worth it. My cousin loves getting her hair styled. Today's style was 2 twists over her head like a headband, butterfly clips, and matching bubble balls around 4 separate, evenly parted twists with flower barrettes on the end. It was windy where they live, so my auntie also gelled her hair down. My auntie thanked the woman for the compliments. My cousin was shy around strangers and inched forward, feeling uneasy as the woman was not on the 6-foot marker on the floor separating them. While my aunties started loading their things onto the conveyor belt, she noticed one of my cousin's flower barrettes fell off, and one of her little twists came loose. Auntie told her to pick it up. She has bad knees, as not to lose it. My cousin bent down to get it, and as soon as she stood up, the woman behind grabs her and starts touching her hair. This total stranger put her hands on another stranger's child, especially a black woman's child. Yeah, her obituary would be in the works if it were my kid. When Auntie saw her, she hollered, "Female dog, get your freaking hands off my child!" The woman stared at her wide-eyed, but didn't stop. "She's fine. Her hair is just so pretty. I couldn't resist the urge to touch it." My auntie starts taking her earrings off. It wasn't her first fight. She said, "Lady, I do not know you, and I am not above resisting the urge to touch you." She snatched the woman's hand away and threw it aside as it smacked into the conveyor belts. The woman cried out in pain while clutching her hands and yells, "What the heck is wrong with you?" Auntie tells her, "You don't put your hands on someone else's child. If I did that to your kid, you'd have my black butt arrested." The woman looks at my cousin, who is on the verge of tears, and says, "I bet your mean mummy beats you at home, doesn't she? You're probably being abused. I can take you away from that pain, baby." My cousin began to step back from the woman, smelling the crazy on her, and this broad quickly grabs her arm by force. My cousin shrieks, and my auntie backhands the woman clean across the face. The woman just gasped and stared at my auntie like she was crazy. To Auntie's credit, she was the right kind of crazy, the kind you don't F with when it comes to her carbs. Auntie didn't know if someone called a manager or security or if they were already coming, but they did, and the 2 security men restrained Auntie. Now, she is no small lady. The woman immediately started sobbing and told them, "Arrest this psycho. She assaulted me when all I did was say her daughter's hair was pretty." But Auntie said, "You put your hands on my baby. You're lucky I'm not whooping your butt up and down these aisles." The cashier and some onlookers vouched for her, saying she didn't know the woman who just started touching cousin's hair for no reason. The manager told one of the security guards to stay with the woman, while he, Auntie, and the other guard went to his office. My auntie told them everything that happened before they checked the CCTV. Everything from the woman touching cousin's hair to my auntie slapping the taste out of her mouth when she tried to grab cousin by force. Everything that my auntie told them was caught on video. The manager asked my cousin if she was okay, and she said yes. She was just scared for the other woman because she thought her mum was going to, and I quote, "beat the white off that woman and curb stomp her." This made the security guy laugh. He was a black man with a daughter himself and agreed that his wife probably would have done the same thing. They went back to the woman and told her that my auntie was indeed acting out of self-defense for her child. The manager told her that because she grabbed the little girl by force, she was on the hook for first-degree kidnapping charges. This is when the woman started fuming and shouted, "It's not my fault this skin pigment-related slur is a horrible mother." Oh, for God's sake. And there it was, the infamous word that ended Paula Deen's career and made Dave Chappelle a household name. The manager, the security guards, the onlookers, Auntie saw a lot of drop jaws and heard a lot of shocked gasps. The woman realised what she said and sputtered, trying to save face. The manager promptly told her to shut up and asked my auntie if she wanted to press charges. Auntie, of course, said heck yeah. The security guard who waited with the woman slapped some lovely silver bracelets to go with her outfit and escorted her out of the store. She was charged for the attempted kidnapping and banned from the store for the hate speech. Edit to add, I found out from my auntie that half the people there were black, including the manager. Some people clapped as the woman was escorted out. My auntie's $40 purchase was comped and they went home. No matter how sweet my cousin makes her gingerbread house, I'm sure the justice she and my auntie got today was even sweeter. Alright, so let's be honest, a lot happened in that story. I need to just go through it again and quickly unpack it in my own mind before giving my, concluding thoughts. Alright, now first of all, touching black people's hair because it's cool. It's not really on. Let's be realistic. I've heard a lot about it, on social media and the news, to be fair, recently, in the past few years. Yeah, just think about it. If it was the other way around and it was black people touching white people's hair, you'd say, it's really not, it's a bit weird, isn't it? So it works both ways. You can't have it, you can't just say, it's allowed for white people to touch black people's hair and then it's weird the other way around. It's just weird to go into somebody else's personal space, touch their hair without asking. That's the first stage. The second stage is she then grabs your daughter's arm. Your auntie's daughter's arm. That's mad. I didn't know that could be charged with kidnapping, but I guess if you do grab the arm of a child, stopping them from moving, I guess in a way that is kidnapping, so I guess that charge is kind of fair. I don't really know why she then went to that length. I mean, fair enough, touching her hair is pretty bad, but after the mum said, don't do that, you should have just said, okay, fair enough, I won't do that again. My apologies, just wanted to touch your hair, even though it's a bad thing. This woman from the very beginning of the story was just very clearly in the wrong. She was within the 6 feet boundary, the 2 meter boundary that you've got to be outside of in these COVID times. And then it just got worse and worse from there. And yeah, she did deserve to get kicked out the store and arrested. Good stuff. Now moving on to our next story. Entitled Lady Demands to Adopt My Cat. For some backstory, I recently started fostering cats to help me get over some personal issues. I own 2 cats, Maggie and Milo. At the moment, I have 4 cats I'm fostering. I was contacted about a potential adopter, and we scheduled a time yesterday for her to come meet Billy Bug, one of the fosters. Well, the woman comes, and she seems normal enough. No Karen haircut, and she's planning to adopt the cat as a birthday present for her 12-year-old daughter. So the meeting goes pretty well. I introduce her to Billy Bug, who is the chillest cat on the planet. He's mostly white with a black face and paws. As I'm telling her about him, she notices Maggie chilling in the cat tree. Of course, I let the cats roam wherever they want, and she asks about her. I explain she's my baby. I adopted her and her brother after they were abandoned on the side of a road. Maggie is a gorgeous cat. She's black and white, pretty small, and is the fluffiest cat in my place. She's also the only female cat in my place. All my other fosters are boys. So Karen asked if she could adopt Maggie instead of Billy Bug, and I had to stop myself from laughing. I told her Maggie was not up for adoption. She got mad and told me I work for a shelter, I can't just keep the best cats for myself. I told her that I had Maggie for a year before I started fostering, and obviously I'm not letting anyone adopt my pets. So, Karen tells me she's going to report me to the shelter. This shelter needs foster families in order to save more animals. It's a no-kill shelter, and foster families allow them to take in more animals that would have ended up euthanized. I asked her to leave. She told me she wasn't leaving without a cat, and stormed over to the cat tree and picked up my Maggie. Quick note about Maggie, she only likes to be picked up on her terms, which is almost never. So Karen picks her up and Maggie starts pushing against her chest with her paws. And I'm telling Karen to put her down and get out of my house. And as she tries to readjust her hold on my baby, Maggie gets fed up and uses her claws. Karen drops her and she and Billy Bug both bolt from the room. I tell Karen to leave or I'm calling the cops. She finally leaves, going on about reporting me to the shelter. As soon as she's gone, I call the shelter and tell them everything that happened and that I cannot, in good conscience, allow that woman to adopt a cat in my care. They agreed that her behaviour was troubling and have temporarily placed her on the do not adopt to list for now. She called like an hour later, complaining to the shelter about me, and lost it when she was told they wouldn't be adopting to her anytime soon. Now I'm getting ready for another foster cat to come in tomorrow, and I'm meeting a couple looking to adopt Phoebe and Dahlia, two of my fosters that came from the same litter. So despite the crazy Karen, things are still moving fast, and Billy Bug will find his forever home eventually. You know what, it's such a shame that some of the most selfless people in the world, like you, OP, have to deal with entitled Karens in your day-to-day work. As you say, there's not much more you can be doing in life that is morally better or ethically better than adopting cats that would otherwise die, let's be realistic, and then giving them to good foster homes so they can have an amazing life. There's literally, I can't think of many better things you can do other than like working for charity and saving people's lives yourself. Coming close second to that is fostering cats and making sure they survive. I'm not gonna lie, maybe even above it. So to say that then you have to deal with people like this who are like, you know what, I don't want this ugly foster cat, I want your cat. It just goes against everything that the whole business of adopting and fostering cats is about, I'm sure. Not that I know too much about that whole world, but that's just what I'm thinking. It's just a shame that you had to deal with this woman, to be honest. And if I'm completely honest, I hope that she's never allowed to own a pet again. I wonder if there's like some anti-pet owner thing you can get given if you're just horrible to pets. There might be, I just don't like her mentality, and I feel like if she did get a pet, after 1 week she'd probably be bored and be like, oh, I want the next best thing, not this old cat. So yeah, probably best that she didn't get any cat at all. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Entitled Parents, but before you click off, click here. This is how you get the best merch in the game. This is the best Christmas gift of all time. If you are young, you can always ask your parents to buy it for you, responsibly of course. Don't buy it on your parents' credit card, that would be a terrible thing. And yeah, it's very comfortable. How about I do a little bit of rubbing? Can you feel that? You can't feel it, but can you hear it? Imagine there was like a sensometer going through your screen right now. That would be strange. Anyway, watch some more videos, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all later with another bit of a